Hmm.
Okay, good morning. I'm Alexis, the founder of Fanfaire, and I'm so excited for this week's community workshop. I'd like to introduce Alyssa Marie Lane. She is a business owner in Northwest Indiana, and her business is booming right now. She has been so busy this past week, just even trying to get a picture of this. She's been on literally like 1,000 jobs. Not only is she talented when it comes to creating decor, she's an amazing businesswoman. So I'm super excited to have her today to teach us how to make a grad cap. It's perfect for the next month, month and a half. Even in Alyssa's business, she has people celebrating graduation like through the summer and into the fall. Obviously we have preschool, kindergarten, fifth grade promotions, high school, college, master's programs. So this is very universal for all of those graduations. So if you do want to participate today, she's provided a product list. If you have any link-o-loons in 12 and 6 inches, 5-inch balloons, and 260s. Obviously, my thought was, oh, make it in black. It's classic in black. But Alyssa was like, people also use this in their college colors or whatever. So if you have link-o-loons that are in other colors, and even just for practicing today, pull them out and participate as she builds this because it really does help you ask the right questions throughout the workshop. So Alyssa, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Alyssa, and I own Party Lane Balloons and NWI Party and NWI Party Marquee. So we have a balloon business and a marquee business and rent props also. And like Alexis was saying, this is our busiest time of the year because we do so many grad celebrations. And our grad season has already started because historically a lot of the colleges graduate on Mother's Day weekend. So we had a really busy week last week because we had end of the year celebrations, like different events for, say the College of Business or whatever college they belong to, the Honors College, for the different schools in addition to the university commencement. So there's not just opportunity for graduation, but also opportunity for all of the end of year type of events that happen leading up to graduation. It's such a busy time of year. Okay, so the Grad Cap is a really, really fun add-on. I feel like this is a really strange year. Is everyone else seeing this too? I do want to touch on it, like with where the economy is this year. So, because I feel like it's kind of been split up that there's some people who have a lot of money, and the people who have a lot of money and are spending a lot, but yet our average spend has gone down because we've kind of lost the middle. Like the people who used to spend in that midpoint are now spending less. So our business is actually up, but we're doing more small, we're doing like really big jobs, and then we're doing a ton of smaller jobs, and most of the mid-sized ones have gone out. And it could just be like our local area, but I've talked to a few other people, and depending where you are in the country, it doesn't seem to be an experience that's unique to me. So, but as we reach the things that are, you know, making it more competitive, it's even more important to stand out by offering pieces that other people don't offer. So that way you could still be getting the top dollar for your designs because then they're going to be choosing to work with you instead of choosing to work with somebody else, even if they just know, like you just make this, you put it up on your Instagram with something else, even just as like a show and sell because you can't sell something unless if you show it. We all know that. Love you, Alexa. Um, she's the queen of knowing that. That's why we have fanfare. But it's just like such an important thing to be able to distinguish yourself right now. Okay, so this grad cap is really, really easy to put together. I did not make a sample yet. I figure we're just going to make the one that we're going to do. So the first part that we're going to work on is the mortar board, which is the flat part that goes across the top like this. And how that's done is we're going to be making a ribbon, which is going to be 8 links that are inflated.
Alyssa,
I,
how big will this thing be? Because that looks huge to me.
on March, but you could do the same thing out of 6-inch balloons as well, and just make the whole thing out of the 6-inch balloons. Okay. So I already started with a chain of 4, and then I'm going to finish putting the last 4 on. So you can see how I do my links as we're right here. Okay. So I do use a timed machine, but you would be able, sorry, I moved it all fell apart. But you would be able to use a slider or a box in order to measure. The most important part is just that all of your balloons are the exact same size. So we fill these on our pink machine, which is actually a really affordable inflator. This one is only like $169 for a timed inflator. That's crazy. It doesn't do 5-inch that well, but it's worth it for what it does. We do these at 8, which ends up being which ends up being 7.5 inches. So this is a 7.5-inch balloon. I'm going to just measure it, make sure that's correct. Yep, right at 7.5. Okay, so this is a 7.5-inch balloon. When I inflate, live. We're doing an 8-inch balloon. Sorry, looked at the wrong measurement. So you can see those are at the same size. We need to have some structural integrity. So when we tie them together, what we're going to do is cross these super tight so that they're crossed over, loop around twice, and then tie it off. I'm actually going to switch what I'm using for my support. Sorry, I apologize.
All good.
But yeah, I'm going to use the other one because this one keeps on tipping forward.
All good. So how big did you say that this will become?
This one, I think that it's about 4 foot on the top.
Oh, 4 foot. Okay, so it's huge. So if we
Yeah.
did this with the 6-inch links,
Mm-hmm.
would it be, I guess it depends on how big you make them, but like
How
2 to
big your
3
link?
feet?
We could do it as a 2 to 3 foot.
Okay.
Absolutely. I just want to hold on to my messiness. Can you see me?
No.
Or my
There you are.
okay. Still can see me? Okay.
Yep.
I can't turn it sideways though on this folder. It doesn't. That's why I tried my other one. But it's been acting weird. It's like, I don't know. I did something where it won't tighten up now. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and turn this into 8. So I'm going to again, wait, cross over super tight, around a second time, tie it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and turn it into a ring. We've done this before. I do this all the time. It's like such a popular, it's such a common thing to make this ribbon. So for this one, since it's only 4 balloons on each side, all I need to do is cross my 2 middle ones, and I'm going to twist it a few times. Just tighten it up. So you see how easy it was to make this little small ribbon that's 4 on each side.
Yeah, we use the same technique with the link-o-loons with the heart and the shamrock too. So with link-o-loons, are you typically making it into like a flat structure, or is that just, I mean, obviously you can do the pearls and things like that, but the link-o-loons kind of give you that ability to make the flat structure for things.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you can always double it up too. So, but it's just super duper easy. So now I'm going to take, I have 5 inch already made and these are inflated to 3. And this is also going to reinforce it and keep it in place. I'm just going to put it through the center, my little duplet. In the middle right there on each one. And again, I just am going around once. That's all I need. And now what I'm going to do is where these little points are, you don't need to take the time to tie it. You're going to be able to connect it with another doublet in these 2 spots.
If you were at Float, Alissa made a really cool wall that looked like this, and she did a varied pattern with color. So this is also a fun way to have a balloon wall look like more structured, and you can still add like organic decor on the sides and stuff. But anyhow, it's a really cool pattern. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so usable. When we do the wall, we just put fillers in, and you could do fillers, but we're not going to because we're doing this as a lower price point one. And when it's on top like this, you can't see that it's open on the top, but I will demonstrate that for anybody who wants to know. So this just ends up being our mortar board, and you can see how it holds its shape so well. Like it's not going anywhere. It's not sagging because we did the crossover and it's so tight for the ties. So the only other thing that I would add to it is you could either do a double on the end like this, just to cover up all of our connection points that we have on here. So I'm just going to do that really quick. I didn't make enough. Kelly, could you make me some at 0.3 on the black on that one? I need to have. And these are at 2 inches each. I need 2 more. Oh, 3 more. I probably was going to demonstrate it. On the, not the crinkle tip, but the regular tip. And again, so this way it's just cleaned up so that when you look at it, you don't see any of those edges with the ribbon that's sticking out, or sorry, with the end. And it also saves time because you don't need to cut those. 2 more. So, and again, all that we're doing is just making a double that's tied super tight. Just 3 and 4. I push it over the knot, and then just crisscross it. And then I let both stay on that side. And 1 more. This is a super fast design too. Okay. So you can see how each of these just has that on the top now. Taco Tuesday and Fanfaire.
Well, question for
Okay.
you on that. So it looks like the shape isn't as like rigidly square as you had before.
Mhm.
So what are your
You
what do you
you can leave those off if you want to. I just find, or else you could even do a little one of the other things that you can do instead. Could you fill me up 1 more to just one, so that I could do a half twist on it? Give me 2 of them.
what about just like trimming the the neck of the balloon there?
Just trim them, but okay. One of the other things you could do is have your balloon with this neck stretched up to the top, and then you're just going to bend it equal pressure, twist it, which would be more of a half twist. And that's just something that's a little bit smaller
Hmm.
so that you could keep it in there. But I find that it's, when you look at it, when it's when it's on the top. Like, so right now, when you're looking at it, you're thinking that it doesn't look as square. But when it's on the top, it's still it still looks square. Like you're not noticing that part how it's going out a little bit. Like it just visually disappears once it's
Mhm.
on the top of an arch. If I was doing that was one that was down lower, I probably would do the half twist because you can see how it's just a little bit more pulled in instead of being up on top. You can always do like one. I keep it like this. I think that's just going to become a personal preference. That's a good question though. Like that's a little bit flatter than doing it
Yeah.
like this.
Mhm.
Okay, so the next part that we're going to do is we're also going to do rings of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But this is going to be out of the 6-inch length. I made 2 of them. I'm going to make a third. What these are going to do is then stack together, and then it goes onto the mortar board like this. So that way it could be suspended on the top. I'm doing it with 8 around. You could make it a little bit bigger if you want to. I've seen people do it with 10, which is another option. So let me go ahead and make one more ring of the 6. With my 6-inch, I actually prefer to use this machine just because it's a little bit more accurate for my twin sizer. We just do all of our 5-inch on it. So I start my first one by inflating 2 of them. And then I start to do one at a time. And I just tie it directly to the middle. Does anybody have a question on the other part?
No, no questions on this so far, but Tracy did ask, oh, sorry, Tracy. Carolina did ask, what are you using to corral your balloons that are on the ceiling over there?
Well, right now I don't have a correct. What am I using to what?
Corral your balloons. I think she saw something over to the side when you moved your camera.
That's just bags of balloons, bags of clusters that we need
Oh,
to put together that
oh,
are
she said,
secured by magnets.
oh, okay, good idea. She said they're actually not on the ceiling, the black one on the floor,
Oh, a wagon.
a wagon.
So I know some people that use the laundry hampers. I prefer to use a wagon just because then I could roll it to where I need it to be. And also it's a little bit higher, so I'm not having to bend down and dig into the hamper. A hamper is great if you want to, if you have a lot of it or if you have larger clusters, but we like to use it for our 5-inch and then we can just bring it by what we're putting in. Okay, so I have my other ring of 8. Now I'm just going to grab some 260s and 160s to put this together. And I'm going to use that X weave. So this is my wagon and it is a double decker. So I keep some supplies on the bottom. And then this way I could just, we could just drop it fill it or have it between two of us where one person is filling and then the other person is working. But again, it's nice because I don't have to be laying on the floor. I know that's always the stuff that we really want to see, isn't it? Like, what are they using to hold their supplies?
Yeah. Okay, so you have three rings of
Rings.
8.
Yep, correct. Okay.
And
I'm
then
going,
forgive me, I'm gonna ask a really stupid question here. What
yeah.
is a 160?
Okay, so a 160,
It's
260,
just
360.
skinnier.
Yeah, they're all the skinny balloons. And what it refers to is the dimensions for how big it is when you inflate it. So a 260 is going to be 2 inches wide and 60 inches long when it's fully inflated. A 160 is only going to be 1 inch wide.
Ooh, okay.
Bit weaker, but I don't need to have a ton of strength, like tensile strength, in order to hold this together. So in this case, a 160 is fine. And I have a lot of 160s left over from when we made a horse mane a couple weeks ago that I'm not otherwise really going to be using chocolate brown 160s for anything. So we'll just use them as our connection pieces. Okay.
Okay. So I don't know if you guys just saw what she did. She was talking while she did that. I had not known about that technique of flattening the air out of the 260 before, but apparently that really helps with the strength of it. So I don't know if anyone wants her to repeat doing that, but she literally like presses all the air out and then ties the end of it.
Yeah. So this is called ribboning your 260 or 160 or whatever you use. It increases again the tensile strength. You just really quick flatten it and turn it. The main reason too is because then when you're going in between that little bit of puff air that's inside it, this causes little air bubbles. And then a lot of times if you're working and you get a snap on this, it's because there's a little air bubble right there. It gets too tight and that balloon pops. So this prevents that because you've taken all of the air out of it. Okay. So I went ahead and I tied it to one of my knots. And I'm going to just lay this down. We use this technique so much. And when I lay it, what I'm doing is like the round part is sitting in the V for every single one. So we're just going to keep on. The first two are like the hardest. So I just go pull it tight. You want to pull it as tight as you can. You don't want to be going around with it loose because then the whole thing falls apart. So just pull it tight, wrap around, and I go up, and then I come back down. So, and again, what I want to watch when I come down is I'm going to press this middle balloon. Press the middle balloon in between the two. So see how it's keeping its shape? I'm like putting it into the shape as I pull it. And if you use enough tension, then it's going to stay. So I go up, I go down. And this is called a zigzag weave, or some people call it a Z weave. The benefit of it is that otherwise you could do it where you come around the one way. Much easier to do when you're actually looking at it and don't have it facing the camera.
I find this part to be very difficult because like when we did the rainbow, I was like, okay, I'm inconsistent in my weave and I'm messing it up. So I feel like you went through it. You didn't go like around the outside every time. You went through it,
Hmm.
right?
Look, if
Yeah.
there's also a timer, like if you need something like a little car to be driving, there's another way to do it instead of an alternate duplicate path.
Mhm.
Wouldn't
Yep.
that be such a cool tire add-on? See, I just reinvented the tire. Who said you couldn't reinvent the wheel? I did not invent it. I'm sure 1,000 people have done it first. Okay, so now I'm going to start the second one, and it's just about the consistency. I find that the best way to get most consistent, like the first time I did this, I was like, it was too loose, it was pulling apart, it was, again, some were really tight, some were really wide. So just practice. Everything is just practice. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. And I'm going to start my next ones. And I also find that it's just really about doing that manipulation where I'm forcing it to be in the center. I'm not giving it the opportunity to be in the wrong spot. So I'm like manipulating it every single time. And this one I didn't pull as tight, and I could tell because I ran out of balloon. So I'm just going to tie it to my other one and then finish off. Same thing, now we're just 3 wide. And even better, now this one really looks like a tire. Like the Edge Monster Truck thing. It'd be so cute to make something like this. Could you make scissors, please? Thank you. Now we have this, and this is like the top part that the other one's going to sit on. So I'm just going to be centering it. And I inflated it so that it's the exact size. So the reason that I use this sizing, could you, would you be able to give me the exact measurement on what this is at? It's linked to 0.5. Okay, thanks. Because what's going to happen is mine is sized so that it fits exactly into this space without being too big. So I'm lining it up. I'm going to attach it with a 260. 1, 2, 3, 4 in that little inner diamond. So this is at 4.5 inches. So my 6-inch link to 4.5. So these were at 8 and 4.5 were my measurements.
And then, so sorry. So what are so is that 5-inch that you have in there also 4.5?
Um, these are 4.5. These are at about 3. Could you see what the 0.3 is at? Sorry, probably 3.5. But it fits perfectly if you into these attachment points where the little V's are. Yeah, with the regular place. 3.5. Okay. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to tie it to the knot. And I'm just going to come across one of my bottom V's. I'm going to come across one, and then twice. And then I actually just stretch my 260 to the one that's across from it. Why? I'm not going to do that. I think I did that once and I realized that it threw the shape out. So I'm going to stop doing that. Had a memory, something going wrong. I'm going to take my other piece on the side and repeat. And then I'm going to do it for these two right here and here as well. I used to make it with only two rows of rings underneath, and you could see that in the picture of the one that we have for the preschool one. Um, it was only two rows, but we decided that you couldn't really see it in the garland, which is why we increased it to three. Now that's nice and tight. You can tell because when we pick it up, like it's not going anywhere. I always do what I call the shake test. Just like, is it staying together or is it falling apart? If it's falling apart, then it's going to fall apart.
There we go.
So now we just need to make the little tassel that goes on the top.
So you could fill the holes. You don't have to. You think because since it's angled the way that you're putting it on like the backdrop like you did, you don't need to.
I find when it's up like this, you don't see it at all.
Okay.
The other problem with if you do that is again, you're not going to have, I prefer for the top to be really flat. So just having it be flat is going to make it look more like the mortar board because it is really skinny and fat. It doesn't have like that up and down for it. Let me grab some 2/6. And then, so a lot of people have different colored tassels for whatever school they go to. And you could do this with either 2/60s or 1/60s. I'm going to do gold just because we have a lot of schools that have gold. Sorry, I know I walked off screen while I went to go grab this. I am going to use Palisand for this because I'm doing chrome and they have the mirror ones that are in the 1/60s also, which is really nice instead of just all in the 2/60s. Okay, sorry about that. Wasn't as prepared as I need to be. Okay, so what we're going to do for this is we need 1 5-inch. And then I'm going to do 1 2/60 and then a handful of 1/60s. So, and these are going to become the tassel like that. I feel like it's nice to also ribbon these so that way they're, again, just a little bit flatter so they look more like a tassel instead of looking like a balloon. And then I'm just going to trim all of these nozzles off as well. See how it just lays a little bit flatter? So now it looks more like string instead of looking like a balloon that's hanging. part of this. I'm just going to tie this tight. Like this. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is, so when I think about what the shape of a tassel looks like, it has the line and then it has a little ball and then it has the line again, right?
Mhm.
So, and then we also need something to attach it with at the top. So I'm going to make my little, you could do it out of a 260 bubbles also. Oops, sorry, can't make it into three. And one little bubble and then two little bubbles.
And for those of us that can't do that, what's the easier way?
Easier way would be do your other 160. We're doing the same thing. Just one little bubble. Take your knot and twist it into it. Just so it stays. Two. I'm doing the same thing, just with the 260 instead. Hmm.
If you guys missed the flower making workshop, some of these techniques that she's using for this twisting also can be applied to making flowers.
Yep. Just pull this one down.
Okay, that seemed pretty advanced. Anybody
So
here feel like they can do that?
everybody could do it. Pull it to the end. Again, tie it off. Now we just have more. It's turned into a little extra piece of tassel. So see, it's looking like a tassel because it has that little ball at the bottom. And now we're going to create like the little button that it comes from to hang from the top. So we're going to put that in too. So I'm going to take a 5-inch balloon for that. And Kelly could do all these, and she literally started, she'd never tied a balloon before she started working here, which was November. So again, I'm just pushing the air out. I'm going to stretch it. When did you start working here? When did you start working here? The week of Thanksgiving. It's just all practice for anything. I'm going to take these two ends and I'm going to, when I tie this, here's my little knot. I'm going to tie it above the knot. So it's tying into this little space, not into this space. Give me some dashes, please. So see how it's up here above the knot, not down here below the knot. So now I could push it through. Oh, can I get a little piece of black or brown? 260 also. Just pushing it through. That's fine. I mean, center. Take this. Just tie it off really tight. Don't use your teeth. I just need an extra hand. And double knot that. Now we have this little piece that's going to hold it on here. And I like to just stick it onto the balloon. It goes, you could always do two of these to leave down if you want it to be longer. I normally just keep it to the side like that. I do feel like I maybe should have made it one longer. Yeah, Kelly, could you get me one more 260?
Doesn't that not usually go like in the middle? It's like the
Yeah. And Alexis was asking me for the recipe, and I'm like, I don't have it written down. I just kind of make it. And then I'm like, oh yeah, this needs to be longer. Okay, so now we'll have the extra length. That'll be better. Because I sometimes forget what I do from year to year. So always write your recipes down. Favorite. Do not use blue dots. I always use dashes. They just work so much better. Okay, so since our center is a hole, we're not going to go into the center. We're just going to go into the balloon that's next to the center on the side that I want to put it. And I'm going to use two dashes that are across from each other on the fat part of the balloon. Umbrellas work better when they're warm. Stick them in your pants or your bra. They're not sticking because it's probably just too cold out. Okay. Now it's attached. Now we have our mortar board with the tassel.
cute.
Next, anything.
Okay, now let's talk about where you put that. So you staged it on a backdrop that was already like a photo moment or like backdrop for the actual preschool graduation, but you could put that on any other like display. I probably wouldn't put it as like a topper of a column, right? It's too big.
No, I wouldn't do a topper of a column, but I think that it's fun. It would be cute to do on top of marquees. It would be cute just to do on any cluster that you have. We did one that was a graduation party for somebody that was going to school to study to be a marine biologist. So we actually made a big octopus, and then we did a balloon wall that then had an octopus, and the octopus was wearing the grad cap.
Cute.
I know it's so ridiculous. It's so fun. I love ridiculous. So so this was like up in the corner of the wall, and then it made it look graduation, but still under the sea. So that was a fun way to do it. Yeah, just any cluster, you could have it, just on the bottom because you could absolutely tell what it is. I like to have it on an angle so that way you could see the whole thing where you could really see the shape of it because I feel like you do need to have it on an angle or very up and down. It can't be like this because otherwise it just doesn't look like anything.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So that one, you said that one's 4 feet.
Yeah, it should be about 4 feet. So let's get an exact measurement for you.
So obviously we use the bigger balloons. There's more structural integrity to it because you have the bigger balloons, then you kind of like locked it in with those 5 inches that were sized down to 4.5. If you wanted a very flat look and you used smaller link-o-loons, similar to like the heart, heart one that we did with the smaller ones, like there would be a point where it would kind of get too floppy, right?
Um, what do you mean by too close? It was 3 by 3 is the size of it for this one
Yes.
with where we
Okay.
so 3 by 3, which I feel it was really manageable when it was, which makes sense because we used 8-inch balloons, and if there's 4 8-inch balloons per side, and they're not all straight across, it's on an angle.
Hmm. Yeah, came out good.
Okay. I do want to show really quick. We have a couple minutes, and this is something that I also haven't done since
Hold
last
on.
year. See how it goes.
Before you move on, Alyssa, does anybody have any questions about the mortar board, about the hat part, about the tassels, about sticking it all together? I'll post the actual recipe that she used in the community in the recording. Um, Anybody, any questions? There's no, as you can see, there's no stupid questions. I asked plenty of stupid questions.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you could also do the same thing as twisted elements. And it's virtually the same thing. It's going to be the same type of pattern where you're just going to use two. And what I do for it is that the bottom ends up being this twist so that it's flat. I'm going to lose this knot. I can already feel it. I need two 47th birthday bouquets for to deliver for this afternoon. One is going to have the gold numbers, and it's just multicolored with like maybe the chrome happy birthday if you want to get started on that. Okay, it's better. I just wasn't getting the grip. So this is our little bottom. And it's going to be two 260s. And then we're just doing the same pattern. One, two, four, five, six, seven, eight. I'm going to do it the easy way, which is to do it exactly the same as the other one. So we have our top, and then we could start with our next one. I would just use like chrome happy birthday if you want the multicolored. You can do it with one 260, but this is easier for people who are learning. And that's done. So it's the exact same thing as with the link. just these little bubbles. So see how now we have two of these? This is the top of your grad cap. And then I'm just going to attach them with my little straps that are left. And this is such a fun accent that you could also just add into your balloon garland. If you don't want to have, or say that you just can't get in, like the small 9-inch cap. He died. Give me another 5-inch red, please. Boo-hoo. Thank you. Touch it, push it through, find your knot, squeeze and turn it, scrap. And this one, I'm just also going to take a couple dashes and I'm going to apply them to my inside bubbles. Now we have another little mini grad cap that you could put into your balloon garland as well. It's the same thing. Do your little tassel that would be hanging from it. Aren't they cute? They're so cute. They're so little. So it's just a little extra fun little design that you could work into anything. If you want a tiny little grad cap.
Cute. Awesome.
And then the medium would be with your 6-inch. But yeah, it's all the same thing. It's all just going to be the same little flat board. And then just here, you just use the twist instead of using the layers of balloons. Any questions? Nope.
No.
You
Okay.
guys lost everybody, or they're like, we know this.
Now I'm a little intimidated. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna try the small one. That would be crazy with the 260. I don't think I could do that. And then the larger one, I think I could do it. I
Yeah,
think I could
you
do
can
it.
do it.
I think it's really important that the sizing is correct. So like having everything measured out is gonna make a big impact because I could probably make that look like a pile of balloons just tied together, which would not be good.
I mean, sizing is so important for everything that we do. So it could all look like garbage if we don't do it correctly. Okay. Yeah, it's cute. And there's a little thing for his tassel. You worry about if the tassel's in the center. I just put the tassel on. So I just think it looks cute. Okay.
Carolina says, you can do it. Thanks, Carolina.
Everybody can do it. So See, look at that. Look how fun that is. I
Cute.
love a little. I think it's just even when you just add a couple of them, sometimes like down at eye level, if anybody has any twisting skills or likes to twist, I just, again, it looks so cute because, especially a time where anybody could buy like little tiny grad caps on Amazon. And so they look at our work and they're like, oh, well, I could make that. They don't look at this and think, oh, I could make that. Or look at this and think, oh, I could make that. So now they're going to be hiring you because they don't think that they can make it themselves. So
Cute.
red and white are our school colors. Okay. There would be a cute little centerpiece too. Like if it was a little bit cleaned up because I did it super fast. But if you did just even a tiny little base, and then, oh my goodness, do you know what would be so cute? I'm going to take a picture of it. Like if we did the little 26, and then do we have a six anywhere? Like a little mini 2 six, like left over from anything that we did that we got fast, or are they all at the warehouse? Like you could do the little tiny balloon base, and then you could sit the grad cap on it for a centerpiece. I'm going to make that and then post it because I feel like that's something that I want to add to my menu. So because it's super easy and elevated, and then you could sell that for more. So I think that'd be so fun.
Well, just like a quad on the bottom and then a little 2 and a 6, and then put the grad cap on top of the 2 and the 6.
Yeah, super fun.
Yeah.
Here, could you hand me like gold numbers? I know she's in the middle of helium. She has like her hands on a balloon inflated. I'm like, could you hand me this, please? Um, so cute. But yeah, you could just do like a little balloon base where you have it like 4.5 inches and then 3 inches. We do these and then sometimes do helium from the top. 2026, right? We'll just do the 6 right now and then I'll take the picture of it. Sorry, this is how I think of things. I start to do something like, oh, it would be cute. Yeah. So if we have our 2 and our 6, and then this would just be like sitting on it.
Mhm.
Is that the right way for you? Okay.
No, no, the other way. There we go.
It would be so cute, like on a little base. Now your numbers are wearing a grad cap. So, so fun. Okay. I'll make one and then I'll post it. Any questions on that? Or
Okay,
Callie?
I'm
A
gonna
little base.
stop the recording.